Winter, a season of stillness, of silence. A blanket of snow muffling the world can seem so peaceful, so pure. But beneath that pristine surface, something else stirs. Something ancient, something unforgiving. The cold itself can be a source of dread, isolation, a breeding ground for fear, and sometimes the stories that haunt us most are the ones rooted in truth. Picture this: the Ural Mountains of Russia, February 1959. The landscape is a vast frozen expanse where the snow blankets everything in sight, and the cold bites through even the thickest of clothing. A group of 9 experienced hikers, young and full of life, set out on an adventure. They were students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, all skilled in ski tours and mountain expeditions. Their spirits were high as they embarked on what was supposed to be a challenging yet exhilarating journey. Their goal to reach the peak of Otorten, known to the indigenous Mansi people as Don't Go There. This ominous name, however, did little to deter the group, who were eager to conquer the mountain and return with tales of their adventure. The hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, were never seen alive again. Dyatlov was a seasoned leader, known for his meticulous planning and leadership skills. The group trusted him implicitly, believing that under his guidance they would safely navigate the treacherous terrain. Weeks later, their tent was discovered, slashed open from the inside. This bizarre detail suggested that something had terrified the hikers so much that they felt the need to escape immediately, even if it meant tearing through their only shelter. Footprints in the snow, some barefoot, some wearing only socks, led away from the campsite. These tracks painted a picture of a frantic escape, with the hikers fleeing into the unforgiving wilderness without proper clothing or footwear. The bodies themselves, scattered in the snow, told a horrifying story. They were found at varying distances from the tent. Some huddled together as if seeking warmth, others sprawled out as if they had fallen while running. Some were found in their underwear, as if they had fled their tent in a blind panic. This detail was particularly chilling, as it indicated that whatever had driven them out of their tent had done so with such urgency that they didn't even take the time to dress. Others bore strange injuries, fractured skulls, broken ribs, a missing tongue. These injuries were not consistent with a simple fall or exposure to the elements, suggesting that something far more sinister had occurred. One hiker, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue and eyes. This gruesome discovery added another layer of mystery to the already perplexing case, raising questions about what could have caused such specific and brutal injuries. What could have driven these experienced hikers to abandon their shelter in the dead of night, inadequately dressed for the freezing temperatures? Theories range from an avalanche to a sudden attack by unknown assailants, but none have been definitively proven. Theories abound: an avalanche, a military experiment gone wrong, even whispers of something more sinister, something tied to the ancient legends of the Mansi people. Some suggest that the hikers might have stumbled upon a secret military test, while others believe they were victims of a supernatural force. Adding to the mystery, some of the hikers' clothing was found to be radioactive. This unusual detail has led to speculation about the involvement of nuclear tests or contamination, further complicating the already baffling case. The official investigation concluded that a compelling natural force was responsible for the deaths, but the vagueness of this explanation has done little to quell the speculation. The term compelling natural force is ambiguous, leaving room for endless interpretation and debate. The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century, a chilling reminder that even in the most remote corners of the world, darkness can find us. To this day, the true cause of the hikers' deaths remains unknown, a haunting enigma that continues to captivate and terrify those who hear the story. The icy grip of winter can be isolating, wrapping the world in a cold, silent shroud. The snow blankets everything, muffling sounds and creating an eerie stillness. In this frozen landscape, it's easy to feel cut off from the rest of the world, as if the cold has created an impenetrable barrier. This isolation can leave us vulnerable to the shadows that lurk in the dark, unseen and often unnoticed. The long winter nights seem to stretch on forever, and the darkness can play tricks on the mind, making us see things that may or may not be there. For Joshua Guimond, a 20-year-old student at St. John's University in Minnesota, those shadows took the form of a chilling mystery. Joshua was a bright, ambitious young man with a promising future ahead of him. He was well liked by his peers and had a close-knit group of friends. On November 9th, 2002, Joshua vanished from a party at a friend's apartment, leaving behind his wallet, keys and car. It was a night like any other, filled with laughter and camaraderie, but it ended in a way no one could have anticipated. It was as if he had simply ceased to exist. His friends and family were left in a state of shock and confusion, unable to comprehend how someone could disappear without a trace. The search for Joshua began immediately, but the harsh winter conditions made it difficult to find any clues. Months later, on a cold March day, his body was found in the icy waters of the Mississippi River, miles from where he was last seen. The discovery brought some closure, but it also raised more questions than it answered. How did Joshua end up so far from the party? What happened to him during those missing months? The cause of death was ruled as accidental drowning. However, this explanation did little to ease the minds of those who knew Joshua. They couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story, that something sinister had happened to him. But for those who knew Joshua, something didn't add up. His friends and family described him as a strong swimmer, someone who would not have easily drowned. They began to wonder if there was a darker force at play, something that had led to his untimely death. His disappearance and the subsequent discovery of his body bore eerie similarities to a string of unsolved cases across the Midwest, all involving young men who had vanished near bodies of water. These cases, spanning over a decade, had left a trail of unanswered questions in grieving families. The cases were linked by a chilling detail: smiley face graffiti found near the sites where the victims were last seen or where their bodies were recovered. This bizarre and unsettling connection led to the theory of the Smiley Face Killers, a group of individuals who might be targeting young men. Was Joshua Guimond the victim of a sinister predator, someone who used the cover of winter to prey on vulnerable young men? The thought was terrifying, and it cast a long shadow over the community. People began to look over their shoulders, wondering if they too could be in danger. The so-called Smiley Face Killers theory, while never officially confirmed, continues to haunt the families of the victims. They are left with more questions than answers, and the pain of their loss is compounded by the mystery surrounding it. It serves as a chilling reminder that even in the heart of winter, evil can lurk beneath the surface. The cold, silent world of winter can hide many secrets, and sometimes those secrets are darker than we can imagine. Imagine this. You're driving down a desolate highway in the Alaskan wilderness. The road stretches out before you, a ribbon of white cutting through the endless expanse of snow and ice. The sky above is a dull, oppressive grey, heavy with the promise of more snow to come. The only sound is the crunch of your tyres on the frozen ground and the occasional gust of wind that rattles the windows of your car. The wind howls outside, biting at the edges of your car. It's a relentless force, a reminder of the harshness of the environment you're traversing. The snowflakes dance in the air, swirling and twirling in a chaotic ballet, obscuring your vision and making the journey even more treacherous. Through the swirling snow, you see it. A semi-truck pulled off to the side of the road, its engine silent. The truck stands out against the white landscape, a hulking dark shape that seems almost out of place in the desolation. You wonder what could have caused the driver to stop in such an inhospitable place. You stop to check if the driver needs help, but as you approach the truck, a sense of unease washes over you. The air feels heavier, colder, as if the very atmosphere is warning you to stay away. But curiosity and concern drive you forward, your footsteps crunching in the snow as you make your way to the cab. You peer through the frosted windshield, and what you see chills you to the bone. The glass is covered in a thick layer of ice, but through it you can just make out the shape of the driver, sitting motionless in his seat. Your breath catches in your throat as you realize something is terribly wrong. The truck driver, frozen solid in his seat, his face contorted in a silent scream, his gloved hands raised as if to ward off an unseen attacker. His eyes are wide with terror, staring into the void, as if he had seen something so horrifying that it froze him in place, both literally and figuratively. This is the chilling true story of the frozen trucker, a mystery that has haunted the Alaskan wilderness for decades. The tale has been passed down through generations, each retelling adding new layers of fear and intrigue. It's a story that has become part of the very fabric of the region, a ghostly legend that refuses to fade away. Details are scarce, the story passed down through whispers and campfire tales. Around flickering flames, people huddle close, sharing the story in hushed tones, their breath visible in the cold night air. Each person adds their own twist, their own interpretation, but the core of the story remains the same. A trucker frozen in fear and ice on a lonely Alaskan road. Some say the trucker was hauling a load of frozen goods when his truck broke down, leaving him stranded in the unforgiving cold. The cargo, meant to be kept at sub-zero temperatures, became his icy tomb. Others believe he was caught in a sudden, brutal storm, the temperature plummeting so quickly that he had no chance to escape. Others whisper of a creature, something born of the cold and darkness, that stalks the lonely highways, preying on unsuspecting travellers. They speak of a shadowy figure, glimpsed only in the periphery, a being that brings with it a chill that seeps into the very soul. This creature, they say, is the true cause of the trucker's demise. The truth, like the frozen landscape where the trucker met his end, remains shrouded in mystery. The Alaskan wilderness holds its secrets close, The answers buried beneath layers of ice and snow. What really happened to the frozen trucker? Was it simply a tragic accident, or is there something more sinister at play? But the image of his frozen body, trapped in a silent scream, serves as a chilling reminder of the unforgiving nature of winter and the darkness that can lurk just beyond the reach of civilization. It's a story that continues to haunt those who hear it, a stark warning of the dangers that lie in wait in the frozen wilderness. The frozen trucker remains an enduring enigma, a ghostly figure forever etched into the icy landscape of Alaska. As the snow falls and the wind howls, remember these chilling tales from the heart of winter. They're a stark reminder that the cold can be more than just uncomfortable. It can be a force of nature, capable of chilling us to our very core. Stay warm, stay safe, and never underestimate the power of winter's bite. For in the silence of the snow, you never know what might be listening, watching, waiting,